In the human colony on the planet Xira, Leo was just an ordinary worker. Everyone called him weak and useless, especially the alien species living near the tall and proud Dravens. The Dravens loved to mock Leo, especially one arrogant warrior named Raka, who always called Leo the soft human. In the middle of the colony's market, a rusty, ancient suit of alien armor stood on display, a decoration, nothing more. Legend said it was magical, but no one believed that anymore. One day, after a long argument, Raka laughed at Leo in front of a crowd. "Hey, soft human, why don't you try that old junk armor? Maybe it'll finally make you less pathetic." Everyone laughed. They expected Leo to ignore it. But that day, something inside Leo snapped. Without saying a word, he walked up to the armor. People whispered, chuckled, even placed bets. Leo touched the cold metal, and suddenly, the armor's eyes glowed faint blue. The plates moved on their own, wrapping around Leo's body perfectly. The laughter stopped. Leo stood there, completely covered, his eyes shining with blue light. The armor felt warm, alive. Then a voice echoed in his mind. "Welcome, wielder." The Dravens stared in shock. "That shouldn't be possible," Raka muttered. Before Leo could understand what was happening, the ground shook. From the sky, strange alien ships descended, the Scourge Raiders, known for destroying colonies and stealing resources. Their leader, a brutal alien named Vorok, announced, "We claim this colony, resist, and you die." People screamed and ran. The Dravens prepared to fight, but they were outnumbered. And then the armor spoke to Leo again. "You have power now. Will you use it? Or will you run like before?" Leo looked around. The people who mocked him were terrified. Something inside him changed. "I'm done running," he whispered. He stepped forward, the blue glow growing stronger. The Scourge soldiers noticed. "What is that human doing?" Raka tried to stop him. "You're not a warrior. Human, you'll die." But Leo walked past them all. For the first time, he wasn't afraid. He stood before the incoming alien forces and raised his glowing hand. "Let's see what this power can really do," Leo said. Part 1 ends here on a cliffhanger. Leo stood firm in the middle of the colony square. The ancient alien armor covered his entire body, glowing with strange blue lines. His heart was pounding, but his legs didn't shake. He felt stronger. Ahead, the Scourge Raiders marched closer. Their leader, Vorok, was twice the size of a man, covered in dark spiked armor. His army of raiders carried deadly plasma rifles and jagged blades. Their ships hovered in the sky, ready to destroy anything that resisted. Vorok stared at Leo with cold eyes, a human wearing relic armor. "How amusing," Vorok growled. "Kill him." The raiders raised their weapons. The crowd behind Leo screamed, but he didn't move. Then, the armor spoke again in Leo's mind. "Do you wish to survive, Leo?" "Yes," Leo answered in his head. "Then trust me. I will guide you." As the raiders fired, Leo's body moved on its own fast. Too fast for any human. His arm raised, forming a bright blue shield just in time. Plasma shots hit the shield, but bounced off harmlessly. The aliens were shocked. "What is this?" One shouted. The armor whispered, "Now strike." Leo's other hand formed an energy blade, glowing like pure light. He dashed forward, closing the distance in seconds. With a swift swing, he sliced through the first raider's weapon and knocked him to the ground. The next one tried to stab him, but the armor guided Leo's steps. He sidestepped and delivered a powerful kick, sending the raider flying. The Dravens watched in disbelief. Raka, who always mocked Leo, stood frozen. "How is a human moving like that?" he muttered. Leo didn't stop. His body flowed like water, each movement smooth yet powerful. The armor seemed to think faster than him, showing him where to dodge, when to strike, and where to aim. One by one, the raiders fell, groaning in pain. Vorok growled with anger. "Enough, I'll crush him myself." The massive leader leapt down from his ship, his heavy boots cracking the stone floor. He carried a hammer the size of Leo's torso. Leo stood ready, his shield raised. "You're brave, human," Vorok sneered. "But you're still weak flesh under that metal." Vorok swung his hammer with brutal force. Leo blocked it with his shield, but the impact was so strong it sent him sliding back. His arms ached, but the armor reinforced his muscles, keeping him upright. "If you don't push harder, we'll lose," the armor whispered. Leo took a breath. "Show me how." The armor's core pulsed. Suddenly, blue energy surged through Leo's limbs. His blade became longer and brighter, humming with power. Vorak charged. Again, swinging wildly. But this time, Leo was faster. He dodged left, then right, then slashed the side of Vorak's armor, leaving a burning mark. Vorak roared, "You little insect." He tried to grab Leo, but Leo jumped, his blade spinning, cutting through one of Vorak's shoulder plates. The colony crowd gasped. Even the Dravens couldn't believe their eyes. Raka watched, jaw open. "Is that really the same human we called?" Useless, Vorak slammed his hammer into the ground, creating a shockwave. Leo was thrown into a wall, dust rising around him. "You're done," Vorak roared. Raising his hammer to crush Leo, Leo's vision blurred, but the armor spoke. "You are stronger than this. Get up." Leo gritted his teeth. "I won't let them win." His body glowed brighter. The armor repaired itself instantly, and Leo stood up, stronger than before. "I'm not afraid of you," Leo shouted. He charged with incredible speed. Vorak swung his hammer, but Leo slid under the swing, jumped up, and drove his blade straight into Vorak's chest plate. A blast of blue energy exploded, throwing Vorak backward. Vorak landed hard, gasping. His armor was cracked, his eyes wide. With shock, impossible. How can a human? Leo stood over him, breathing hard but unbroken. Because this human was done being weak, Leo said. The Scourge Raiders hesitated. Their leader was down. The human, just a human, had beaten him. Or then, the armor's voice echoed from Leo's body, loud enough for all to hear. "This is just the beginning. Those who threaten this world will face my power." The Scourge ships turned and fled, their soldiers retreating in fear. The colony square was silent for a moment. Then, slowly, people started cheering. The Dravens, including Raka, stared at Leo with new eyes, not as a weak human, but as a warrior. Raka approached, his pride clearly wounded. You were nothing yesterday," Raka said, "but today, you are something else." Leo looked at him, his voice calm. "Maybe I was nothing because I let you tell me I was. Not anymore." Sira, a Draven warrior who respected strength, stepped forward. "Where did this armor come from? Who made it?" Leo shrugged. "I don't know, but it chose me, and I think this is just the start." Suddenly, the armor whispered in his mind, "You are right, Leo. Power has come to you, but so has a great danger. The real enemy is still watching." Leo frowned. "What danger?" But the armor didn't answer. Instead, it showed him a vision: deep space, a shadow moving between stars. A much greater threat was coming, and they knew where Leo w. The colony square was slowly returning to normal. The Dravens repaired the damaged walls, while humans gathered to talk about the impossible event they had witnessed. But Leo stood away from them all, his back against a stone pillar, staring at the night sky. His mind was heavy with questions. The vision from the armor still echoed in his head, a great shadow moving through the stars. A voice, deep, cold, and ancient, whispering from the void. "They are watching you." Leo clenched his fists. "What are you? What is this armor? Why me?" The armor's voice, calm and powerful, echoed again inside his mind. "Because you are the first to awaken me in thousands of years, and because the galaxy is not safe anymore." Leo breathed deeply. "What are those shadows I saw? Who are they?" The armor replied, "They are called the Eclipsers, ancient beings of darkness. Long ago, they consumed planets, leaving nothing but dust. They have slept until now." Leo felt a chill. But why now? Why are they waking up? Because someone or something is calling them back. The armor explained. Before Leo could ask more, he heard footsteps. It was Sira, the Draven warrior woman who had silently watched him since the fight with the Scourge. "You're not like other humans," she said, crossing her arms. Leo looked at her. "I wasn't before this armor." Sira shook her head. "No, the armor only awakened what was already inside you. I've seen plenty of humans. None would have stood like you did." She sat beside him on the stone step. "The Dravens laughed at you. I did too. But now I see you are different. The armor, though it's dangerous. Do you even know what you're carrying? Leo shook his head. Not really, but I need to find out. Sira was quiet for a moment, then said, there's one place where answers may lie, an ancient site in the wastes of Carthos. The Dravens call it the Vault of Origins. It is said that old technologies from before history are stored there. Maybe even the truth about your armor. Leo's eyes lit up. Take me there. Sira raised an eyebrow. It's dangerous. Only fools travel there. The Scourge are nothing compared to the creatures living in those wastes. Leo stood, determination in his eyes. I have to know. If something worse than the Scourge is coming, I need to be ready. Sira smirked. Very well, human. But don't slow me down. The next morning, Leo and Sira set off across the wastelands beyond the colony. The land was barren, full of jagged rocks, dry canyons, and ruins of ancient machines, half buried in the ground. As they walked, the armor spoke to Leo privately. The Vault of Origins. I remember fragments. It is where my creators first tested me, but many of them died before they could finish their work. Why? Leo asked silently. Because they feared what was coming. The Eclipsers. Hours passed. The sun was setting when Sira suddenly raised her hand. We're not alone, she whispered. From the shadows of broken structures, creatures crawled out thin, with bone-like limbs, their eyes glowing sickly green. They screech with hunger. Deserter hounds. Sira spat. They eat anything living. Leo readied himself. His armor formed the energy blade again, brighter than before. Stay close, he told Sira. The creatures attacked. Leo moved swiftly, slicing through the first one with ease. But they were many, crawling over each other, trying to overwhelm them. Sira fought bravely, her blade dancing in the air, striking down hound after hound. There's too many, she shouted. Leo's armor pulsed. Release the pulse, it instructed. How? Leo asked. Channel your energy to your core and let it flow outward. Leo closed his eyes for a brief second, focused on the core inside his chest. He felt the energy build up hot, powerful. Then, with a loud shout, he slammed his hand into the ground. A shockwave of blue light burst out in a wide circle, vaporizing the surrounding creatures. Instantly silence. Sira stared at Leo, amazed. That was impressive, she admitted. Leo smiled faintly. I'm learning, finally. After hours of walking and fighting, they reached a deep crater where an ancient door stood covered in rust, but still humming with old energy. The Vault of Origins, Sira said quietly. The armor whispered to Leo, we are close to the truth. Leo stepped forward, placing his hand on the door. The blue glow of his armor spread into the metal, awakening ancient mechanisms. The door slowly opened, revealing a dark passage with lights flickering alive after centuries of silence. But deep inside, something stirred, a presence watching them from the shadows. The armor whispered, be careful. Leo, not all answers are friendly. Leo looked at Sira. Stay close, we're not alone. They stepped inside, unaware that someone or something was waiting for them in the dark. The heavy metal door groaned as it opened fully, revealing a wide tunnel, dark and cold. Faint lights flickered along the walls, as if surprised to see life after so long. Leo stepped in first, his armor glowing softly, casting blue light in the darkness. Sira followed close, her blade drawn, eyes sharp. This place feels dead. Sira whispered. But the armor inside Leo disagreed. Not dead. Sleeping, it said in Leo's mind. They walked deeper, passing old machines, huge broken statues, and murals carved into the walls. The murals showed beings in mighty armor fighting great shadow creatures, beasts with glowing eyes and endless teeth. Those are the Eclipsers, Leo muttered, tracing his hand along the wall. The armor confirmed, yes, my creators fought them, but they could not win. That is why I was made, to give one soul the strength of many. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the tunnel. Sira froze. Something's moving. A pair of red eyes opened in the darkness ahead, followed by the sound of heavy metal footsteps. From the shadows stepped a giant machine, shaped like a humanoid, but with four arms, each one ending in a deadly weapon, a blade, a cannon, a claw, and a spiked mace. Its voice crackled, old and metallic. "Intruders detected. Identify or be destroyed." Sira gripped her blade. "What is that thing?" the armor whispered. To Leo, "It is the Vault Guardian, created to protect this place. It will not let us pass unless you prove yourself." Leo stepped forward. "We're here for answers, not to steal." The Guardian's eyes flashed. "Only the wielder of the core may pass. Prove you are worthy." Without waiting, it attacked. Leo barely raised his shield in time as the Guardian's blade arm swung down with crushing force. The ground cracked under the impact. "We can't fight that thing." Sira shouted. "We have to," Leo yelled back. He charged, his energy blade clashing with the Guardian's weapons. Sparks flew with every strike. The Guardian moved faster than anything Leo had faced, every attack sharp and precise. "You must use more than strength," the armor advised. "Find its weakness." Leo focused, watching the machine's movements. Then he saw a glowing red core in the Guardian's chest, exposed for brief moments when it raised its arms. "The core." Leo shouted to Sira. "We have to hit its core." Sira nodded and darted around the machine, slashing at its legs to distract it. Leo waited for the right moment. The Guardian raised both its arms to attack Sira, exposing its chest. "Now," the armor cried. Leo dashed forward, his blade glowing brighter than ever. With a powerful leap, he stabbed straight into the red core. A surge of energy blasted out. The Guardian let out a distorted roar, its eyes flickering. It staggered, then collapsed with a heavy thud. Silence returned. Sira breathed heavily, her eyes wide. "You did it." Leo nodded, panting. "Yeah, but that was just the first test." The armor whispered, "You have proven yourself. The path is open." Ahead, another door slid open with a hiss, revealing a large chamber filled with ancient consoles, glowing crystals, and holographic projections floating in the air. In the center stood a large pedestal, and on it, a glowing orb. The armor whispered reverently, "The memory core. It holds the history of my creators." Leo approached and touched the orb. The room lit up as a hologram appeared, a tall alien figure, dressed in old armor similar to Leo's. The projection spoke. "If you see this, it means the Eclipsers have returned. I am Valix, last of the Centenari, creators of the Verax armor." Leo and Sira watched silently. "We built this armor to give one being the power to fight the Eclipsers, but none of us were worthy. Now you human have awakened it. That means your soul carries the strength we lacked." The hologram shifted, showing images of planets burning, shadows devouring stars. "The Eclipsers do not just kill, they consume the light of life. And they are coming. You must gather allies, awaken the full power of the Verax, and prepare. If you fail, everything dies." The hologram faded, but the orb glowed brighter. The armor spoke softly. "We must leave now. The real war is coming." Suddenly, alarms blared. The entire vault began to shake. "What now?" Sira shouted. The armor warned, "Something has awakened below us." The floor cracked open, and from the depths, a massive shadowy figure began to rise, an eclipse creature, larger and more terrifying than anything they had seen. Its eyes burned like suns. It let out a deep growl. "Wielder of the core," it hissed, "you will not leave this place alive." Leo raised his blade, standing protectively in front of Sira. "We're not dying here," Leo declared. The armor glowed brighter, the core pulsing with energy. "Then we fight." The ground shook violently beneath Leo and Sira as the monstrous creature pulled itself out of the cracked floor. Its body was black as night, made of shifting shadows and thick armor-like skin. Its eyes glowed a deep red, like burning stars, and each breath it took filled the chamber with a freezing wind. Sira stepped back, fear in her eyes. "What is that thing?" she whispered. The armor spoke to Leo inside his mind. "It is an eclipse beast, one of the scouts the Eclipsers send before their armies. If it kills us, the rest of the Eclipsers will follow." The beast roared, its voice like thunder. "You are the wielder of the core. I will rip the armor from your corpse and feast on your soul." Leo raised his energy blade, gripping it tightly. He felt the core inside the armor pulse stronger, filling him with power but also reminding him that this enemy was no ordinary threat. "We can't let it escape," Leo said firmly. Sira nodded, her grip tightening on her blade. Then let's make our stand here. The Eclipse Beast charged first, moving faster than expected for its size. It slammed its clawed hand down where Leo stood, but Leo jumped aside just in time. The stone floor cracking under the impact, Sira leapt in, slicing at the beast's arm. But her blade barely scratched its thick skin. It's like cutting stone. She shouted. The armor guided Leo. Its core is hidden in its chest. You must pierce it, but only when it opens its defenses. The beast swung its massive arm, trying to crush Leo. He raised his shield, blocking the hit. Though the force pushed him back hard against a wall, pain shot through Leo's body. But he stood again, his armor glowing brighter. We have to distract it, Leo called to Sira. She nodded and rushed forward, slicing at the creature's legs. It roared in frustration, swinging wildly. Leo saw his chance. He ran up the side of the wall, then launched himself into the air, landing on the beast's back. His energy blade slashed downward, cutting deep into the creature's shoulder. The beast howled and grabbed Leo, flinging him across the room. He hit the ground hard, gasping for breath. You fight well for a mortal, the beast growled. But you are still just a man. Leo wiped blood from his mouth, standing again. His armor repaired the worst of his wounds, but he felt every hit. I might be human, but I'm not alone. Suddenly, the core pulsed stronger. The armor whispered, let me show you the next power. The core pulse. What's that? Leo asked. A surge of energy that can pierce any shadow. But it will drain your strength quickly. Leo clenched his fists. Let's do it. The armor glowed, the light spreading across Leo's arms and legs. His blade extended, growing longer and brighter. Humming with power, the Eclipse Beast turned toward him. What are you doing, human? Leo smiled. Ending this. With a loud roar, Leo charged. The core pulse sent waves of energy through his body, making him faster and stronger. He dodged the beast's swings, his blade a blur of light. Sira watched, stunned at his speed. He's different now. Leo leapt high, then drove his blade into the beast's chest. The Eclipse Beast screamed as the blade sank deeper. Now, Leo, the armor shouted. Leo focused the core pulse through the blade. A blast of pure energy shot into the beast, burning through its shadowy body. The red glow in its eyes flickered. The beast thrashed wildly, trying to pull Leo away, but Leo held firm, driving the blade deeper. With one final burst of light, the beast exploded into black mist, its roar echoing one last time before silence returned. Leo fell to the ground, breathing hard, the light of his armor dimming slightly from exhaustion. Sira ran to him, kneeling by his side. You did it, she said, smiling. Leo chuckled weakly. We did it. The armor spoke softly. You have awakened more of my power, but you must rest. Stronger enemies will come. Leo looked around the ruined chamber. If that was just a scout, what will the real Eclipsers be like? Sira helped him to his feet. Whatever they are, we'll face them together. The orb on the pedestal still glowed. Leo walked to it and placed his hand on it once more. A final message played. Wielder, if you see this, know that the Eclipsers will not stop. You must gather warriors, humans, dravens, anyone willing to fight. Only unity can resist the darkness. The message ended, the orb dimming. Leo looked at Sira. Then that's what we'll do. Go back, warn everyone. Prepare. Sira smiled faintly. You've changed, human. Maybe we all needed someone like you. Leo chuckled. Someone who was once just a joke. She shook her head. Someone who became a warrior. They left the Vault of Origins, stepping into the night. The stars above shone brightly. But among them, Leo knew darkness was moving. We'll be ready, Leo whispered to himself, and far away, beyond the stars, something stirred. An army of shadows, watching, waiting. The war was just beginning. When Leo and Sira returned to the colony, the sun was rising, painting the sky in soft oranges and gold. The world looked peaceful, but both of them knew that peace wouldn't last long. The people of the colony gathered quickly when they saw Leo, still wearing the glowing Verax armor, and Sira by his side. The dravens, the humans, even the younger workers all looked at them, waiting for answers. Leo stood in the center of the colony square, and took a deep breath. "We found the truth," he announced loudly. "The legends of the Eclipsers are real. A scout was already here, in the vault beneath the wastes, and it's dead now. But more are coming." The crowd murmured in fear. Some shook their heads, others whispered that it was impossible. Raka, the Draven who used to mock Leo, stepped forward. "You're saying that if we don't prepare, the entire colony could be destroyed?" Leo nodded. "Not just the colony, the whole planet. The Eclipsers devour everything. Planets, stars, life itself." Raka frowned. "Then what do you propose, human? We Dravens have our warriors, but your people, they're workers, farmers, engineers, not fighters." Sira stepped up, "And yet a human beat the Scourge Raiders. A human killed the Eclipse Scout. Do not speak of limits, Raka." Leo raised his voice. "I didn't start as a warrior either. I was the one you all laughed at. But the armor chose me, and I believe it chose me for a reason, not to fight alone, but to lead us together." The Dravens looked around at one another, some still doubtful, others thoughtful. Then Elder Yarrick, one of the oldest Dravens, stepped forward. "Long ago, our ancestors believed unity between species made us stronger. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that." He looked directly at Leo. "Perhaps it's time to remember." Leo stood taller. "I want to build an alliance. Humans, Dravens, anyone else willing to fight. We can train. We can build defenses. If we stand together, we stand a chance." The crowd was quiet. Then slowly, heads started nodding. Raka grunted. "Fine, I'll train your humans. Let's see if you can actually fight as well as you speak." Sira smiled. "I'll help too. You've earned that, human." Leo smiled back. "Then let's begin." Days passed. The colony, once divided, became a hub of preparation. Draven warriors taught human volunteers how to fight. Farmers became archers. Engineers learned to build weapons and defenses. The humans might not have the strength of the Dravens, but they had creativity, speed, and clever ideas. Leo trained harder every day, unlocking more of the Verax armor's abilities: faster movements, energy shields, stronger strikes. The core glowed brighter with each lesson. Sira trained Leo personally, showing him advanced combat forms. She was strict but fair, and Leo grew sharper under her guidance. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Sira sat beside Leo near the edge of the training field. "You've changed so much, Leo," she said softly. Leo looked at his hands, still covered in the glowing armor. "I don't feel like that useless worker anymore," he said. Sira smiled faintly. "You aren't. You're the wielder of the core, and the first human to unite Dravens and humans." Leo chuckled. "I just hope it's enough." Suddenly, the armor pulsed. The voice inside Leo's mind whispered, "They are coming. Their fleet approaches." Leo stood up quickly. "What is it?" Sira asked. "The Eclipsers. Their ships are almost here." The next morning, Leo gathered everyone in the square. "This is it. We've trained. We've prepared. But the real test is coming. If we fight together, we can win. If we don't, we all fall." The colony was ready. Walls fortified. Weapons prepared. Both humans and Dravens stood side by side. Then, the sky darkened as shadowy ships broke through the clouds, their shape like monstrous claws in the sky. Sira stood by Leo. "They're here." Leo raised his blade, the armor glowing brilliantly. "Let them come," he said. A loud voice echoed from the sky, deep and cruel. "Wielder of the core, surrender, and I will spare your people." Leo stood firm. "We will never surrender." The shadows swarmed down, the first wave of the Eclipse army. But this time, the colony didn't run. Humans fired plasma cannons built from their own tech. Dravens fought with blades and brute strength. Leo led the charge, his energy blade slicing through the darkness as the battle raged. Leo felt the core inside him grow hotter, stronger. "You're not just a human anymore." The armor whispered. Leo grinned. "No, I'm something more." The first wave was tough, but the Alliance stood strong, pushing the shadows back. Yet, in the distance, a larger ship descended. A dark figure stood aboard, watching. "So the human fights well. Let's see how he handles what's next," the figure muttered. The real war was only beginning, but Leo, Sira, and their alliance were ready. They wouldn't fight alone. The sky over Exira colony was no longer blue, it was covered with black clouds and shadows. Hiding the sun, the Eclipsers had arrived in full force. Their massive ships hovered like dark mountains, casting the land in gloom. But on the ground, the colony stood strong. Humans and Dravens stood side by side, their weapons ready. They watched as waves of shadowy creatures descended, their glowing red eyes burning like fire in the night. At the front of the defense stood Leo, his Verax armor glowing brighter than ever. Next to him stood Sira, her blade sharp, her eyes fearless. Leo's voice rang out across the walls. We stand together, no matter how dark they are. We have light. A loud roar echoed from the sky. Then the Shadow Army struck. The first wave crashed against the colony walls. Humans fired plasma cannons and explosive charges. Dravens fought with massive hammers and sharp swords, cutting down the enemy. Leo was everywhere, his blade flashing blue, slicing through the shadows. The armor guided him, its power making him faster, stronger, untouchable. Sira fought by his side, her strikes precise and deadly. She protected the soldiers beside her, shouting orders and keeping the lines firm. But then the ground trembled. From the largest Eclipse ship, a dark figure descended. He was taller than any Draven, covered in dark armor that pulsed like it was alive. His eyes burned like twin red suns. That's their commander, Leo muttered. The dark figure stepped forward, his voice deep and cold. You must be the human wearing the core, he said. I am Nyrax, general of the Eclipsers. I've come to tear that armor from your corpse. Leo stood firm. You'll have to try, Leo challenged. Nyrax chuckled darkly. Gladly, Nyrax charged forward, moving fast for his size. His massive black blade swung down. But Leo raised his shield just in time. The impact sent a shockwave that cracked the stone beneath them. Leo countered, slashing at Nyrax's side, but his blade barely cut through the dark armor. You're strong, human, Nyrax said, but strength alone won't save you. They fought fiercely, blades clashing with sparks and energy. Every strike from Nyrax was heavy, but Leo's armor absorbed the damage, the core pulsing stronger. Sira tried to join the fight, but shadow creatures blocked her path. Go, Leo, she shouted. We'll handle the rest. Leo dodged another heavy swing, then struck Nyrax's arm, finally cracking the dark armor. Nyrax growled, You're better than I expected, but let's see if you can handle this. He raised his hand, summoning dark energy that formed a massive spear of shadows. He hurled it at Leo with deadly speed. Leo raised his shield, but the spear shattered it into fragments, knocking Leo to the ground. Pain surged through him, his vision blurred, but the armor whispered, Don't give up. The core can heal, but only if your will is strong. Leo grit his teeth, slowly standing up. I'm not done yet. His armor glowed again, brighter than ever. His blade reformed, stronger, its glow intense. Nyrax sneered. Still standing, impressive, but pointless. Leo felt the energy inside the core boiling. He remembered the core pulse, the surge that could destroy even the strongest foes. Armor. Can I do it again? You can, the armor answered, but this time, don't just release it, control it, shape it. Leo focused. His blade gathered energy, glowing like a star. The air around him shimmered with heat and power. Nyrax charged, ready to end the fight. Leo leapt forward, faster than ever. Their blades met, the shockwave pushing everything nearby back. Then Leo released the core pulse not as a blast, but channeled through his blade in one concentrated strike. This is for all of us, Leo shouted. His blade pierced Nyrax's chest, the energy burning through the dark armor, through flesh, through bone. Nyrax's eyes widened in shock and pain. Impossible, Nyrax gasped. With a final push, Leo sent the energy through Nyrax's body. The Eclipse General let out a deafening roar that exploded in a burst of light and shadow. The Shadow Army screamed as their leader fell. Without Nyrax, their coordination broke. The humans and Dravens pushed forward, cutting them down. Minutes later, the remaining Eclipsers fled, retreating back into the sky, their ships vanishing into the clouds. The colony stood quiet for a moment, then loud cheers erupted. The Alliance had survived. They had won. Sarah ran to Leo, helping him stay on his feet. "You did it, Leo," she said, smiling. "You beat him." Leo smiled faintly, tired but proud. "No, we all did it. Together." The armor whispered to Leo. "The Eclipsers are wounded, but not defeated. More will come." Leo looked at the sky. "Then we'll be ready. I'm not just a wielder of the core, I'm the protector of this world." The colony had changed forever. Humans and Dravens were no longer divided, they were one. And those shadows still lingered among the stars. One truth was clear. A human once mocked for being weak had become the galaxy's greatest hope. And his story was only beginning.